What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video. And the German journalist Florian Plettenberg is reporting that Liverpool are pushing to sign Ryan Gravenbech in these next few days because Bayern Munich want to sell him, and they have Thomas Tuchel are pushing, he's trying to sign a defensive midfielder. Even Man United's Scott McTominay has been shortlisted at Bayern Munich as a potential candidate, but they need to free up space, free up room in the squad, and Gravenbech at the moment is not playing. He's only fourth choice in the center midfield department. Konrad Laimer, Joshua Kimmich and Leon Goretzka are all ahead of him in the pecking order, so he will not play a lot of minutes, a lot of games. And also for Bayern it's a waste to have Gravenbech, a very talented 21-year-old defensive midfielder, to be sitting on the bench for the second season in a row. His talent is wasted there, and Bayern Munich are waiting for concrete offers for Gravenbech, so Liverpool are preparing to bid for him. And Gravenbech wants to play regularly. He's very unhappy at Bayern Munich. He actually asked Bayern to let him leave the club, and it is expected that Gravenbech could cost around 35 million euros, which is 25-30 million pounds. I think that's an absolute bargain. Who just 1 year ago at Ajax, he was one of the most highly sought after, very talented box-to-box midfielder. Yes, Liverpool would need an out-and-out defensive midfielder in my opinion, but there are not that many defensive midfielders who are great on the market for a reasonable price. Czech Doucouré would cost around 70, 80, maybe even 90 million pounds. He's not worth that price. It's better to sign Gravenbech and the centre-back for a combined 70 million pounds in my opinion. And Gravenbech said that he doesn't know what will happen in the next few days, but he's open to a transfer, and he has been linked with both Manchester United and Liverpool. So let me know, do you think Gravenbech would be a good signing for Liverpool? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, if you enjoyed these videos, leave a like. Let's get this video to 500 likes, and also subscribe if you are new around here so you never miss the latest updates around Liverpool FC. And at the moment, Liverpool is the most likely destination for Gravenbech because Man United are focusing more on replacing Dean Henderson, who is going to Nottingham Forest, and also or maybe to another club, I'm not sure, but Man United are targeting a left back. So at the moment they are not really focused on signing a midfielder. And there is another player that Liverpool have discussed eternally as a potential defensive midfield signing, Douglas Luiz of Aston Villa, but he would be a lot more expensive because he's playing regularly for Aston Villa and also because he's a Premier League player, so that adds another 20-30 million automatically on his price tag. And according to Ben Jacobs, Liverpool internally have discussed the potential move for Douglas Luiz, the Aston Villa midfielder. Douglas Luiz is a name that has been discussed internally by Liverpool, Jacobs outlined. I'm not aware of any movement at this point. I think that it's crystal clear that Liverpool wants to add the players between now and the end of the window if the right name becomes available. I think from Liverpool's point of view as well, because they put that 111 million pound bid down unsuccessfully for Moises Caicedo, they have sent a message out to the market that they've got big money to spend. That might mean that they have to pay above the odds if they do want a last minute window target, because there is the urgency there to get a deal done on Liverpool's part. Everyone now knows they've got the finances. I mean, that's I don't think that's how it should be, because I mean, Liverpool is a huge club. We have the fourth highest revenue in the world, so surely everybody knows Liverpool have money. But of course, when you show your hand and you put 111 million pounds on the table, then everybody can see that money and maybe they become even more greedy. But I think the negotiations with Bayern Munich should go over well, because we already negotiated with them for Sadio Mane 1 year ago, so already the clubs are in a good relationship. And Fabrizio Romano report that Al Ittihad don't only want to sign Mohamed Salah, but they have a short list of defenders that they like, and Joe Gomez is very high on that list. Al Ittihad like Gomez as a versatile player who can play anywhere across the backline. Liverpool insists they have no intention to sell important players in the final days. That's the thing, if Liverpool identify the centre-back position as a position to strengthen, if we signed a really talented, really good left-sided centre-back, we could have sold Joe Gomez in this transfer window, but I still rate Joe Gomez, even though he had a pretty bad season last season. Because of his age, because he's a lot younger than Joao Matip, I would still give him chances. And look how well he played against Newcastle. Came in at a very, very important moment in the match. Liverpool just went down to 10 men. He came on and he was pretty much faultless. He played an absolute blinder. So Joe Gomez still has a lot of talent in him. I still remember him and Virgil van Dijk being absolutely imperious in Liverpool's title-winning season where we won the title with 99 points. I think Joe Gomez lost a lot of confidence, and he was also admitting that physically he didn't trust his body as much after suffering back-to-back really long injuries. But still, Joe Gomez can be a great player, and hopefully he can get back to his best this season. And Chris Sutton, former Chelsea player who is now a Premier League pundit, has said that he really liked the spirit that Liverpool showed and the statement win against Newcastle. He said, I think in terms of Liverpool went down to 10 men to Bournemouth last week, and they saw Bournemouth off pretty well. But to do it at Newcastle, being down to 10 men for 65 minutes, I thought that was a major statement. They are probably the ones who I think can push Man City the most. I still think Man City will win the Premier League, but Liverpool needed that yesterday. And Liverpool will go from strength to strength. If they can keep hold of Mohamed Salah, if you look at Liverpool's front line and the fact they can leave Jota and Nunez on the bench, that's a formidable front line. It's hard to think of another team in the Premier League who have that strength in depth. Diaz was out for a large part of last season. Jota was out. Salah has been super reliable. Nunez, it was a strange season, but you saw signs. There was a player there. You wonder if the nature of Nunez's goals, with both goals clinically taken, if that will give him the boost and really kick Liverpool on. He's physically strong, Nunez. He can run. He looks a handful. We have all spoken about Liverpool's signings, Szoboszlai and McAllister. They are definitely an upgrade on Henderson and Fabinho. Liverpool have a more creative midfield. McAllister is not really the Fabinho replacement. I think that's Endo, and hopefully we can sign another midfielder to boost the ranks, because if Liverpool get a couple of injuries in midfield, or like we have in defense, we have Konate injured, Van Dijk suspended, that leaves Liverpool a little bit short. But hopefully with these last few days in the transfer window, Liverpool are pushing to sign Gravenbech. Hopefully we can sign a young talented centre-back as well. And even Eddie Howe admitted that if Liverpool didn't sign Dominik Szoboszlai, Newcastle were after him as well. He said, we Newcastle, we liked Szoboszlai. He has had a very good start to his career. He is captain of his country at a really young age, and that tells you about his mentality. He's a good technical player. It would have been quite an expensive purchase for us, so there is lots that goes into every transfer, but he's certainly a player that we liked. So for Liverpool to sign him is absolutely brilliant, and it's really, really important because he is a generational talent, I'm pretty convinced, and with the right environment, Szoboszlai can go to the very, very top of English and European football, and I'm really, really happy that my favorite Hungarian player is playing for my favorite club, Liverpool. It's absolutely fantastic. And there is another very interesting rumor. Joel Matip, who has 1 year left on his Liverpool contract, he has been linked with a move to Rennes by the L'Equipe, big French newspaper. Interestingly, they report that Matip would be the replacement for Arthur Theate, the 23-year-old Belgian central defender, has been attracting interest from Leipzig, and also he has been linked with Liverpool previously as well. And Matip is 32 years old, he has 1 year left on his contract, so could a deal involving the two players be on the card? I think that would actually be a good swap deal. Get a 23-year-old player in, who is a left-sided centre-back and is a very talented one, and sell Matip for maybe a little bit less, so Liverpool pay a little bit more on top of Matip, and then we could have a really young, very, very talented centre-back on our hands. But the problem is, with Konate injured and Van Dijk suspended, he might have to start against Aston Villa, which is not an ideal situation. And I love Szoboszlai's ambition. He said it even before the Newcastle game, that he wants to win everything at Liverpool. If they ask me if I want to win the Premier League, of course I want to win it. If I want to win the Europa League and the FA Cup, the same. I want to win every trophy at Liverpool. Everything we can do this year, I want to win everything, because nobody is going to ask you how it feels to be second. I always think that way. Even if this is hard and there are very good teams in the Premier League. But we are also a very good team. We have a very good coach and players. We are going to do our best. And at the end, I want to be first. And it is not only the decision of us how to play. It is the decision of the coach of how we are going to play and put the team together. Mecca is new. I am new. Endo is new. We understand each other very well. Even if Endo only had 2 training sessions with us and 1 game. Over time, we will be even better. But we will have to see. So of course, this early in the season with a completely new midfield, it was always going to be difficult for Liverpool to have really good patterns of play already developed. But you can already see a connection between Szoboszlai and McAllister, and once that connection with Endo and Szoboszlai, Endo and McAllister develops, Liverpool will only improve. So to get 7 points from a very difficult opening 3 game weeks is absolutely massive. And if Liverpool could back that up with a win against Aston Villa, then we could go on a run of wins, because after Aston Villa we have a few, like on paper, a little bit easier games, but there are no easy games in the Premier League. Even the Bournemouth game was difficult. And former Stuttgart midfielder Hansi Müller has claimed that Liverpool signed a complete player in the form of Wataru Endo. He said, "I was shocked when I heard that Endo was leaving Stuttgart. He was the heart and soul of that team. Unfortunately, he can't be replaced one-to-one because he's just a complete player. If a player's desire expresses the desire to fulfill his dream of playing in the Premier League in England, then you must not hold it with all your might. His head would then be somewhere else, would go wrong." And yes, it would have been a bad idea from Stuttgart's point of view to keep Endo against his wishes. As good a player as he is, then they will miss him. But he had this dream of playing in the Premier League, so I think Endo will get much better once he gets accustomed to the Premier League, and also once he gets accustomed to how Liverpool play and these connections form with the other midfielders and the other players. Stan Collymore had an interesting take on these rumors of big offers coming in for Mohamed Salah. He said, "The reality is Liverpool aren't in the same financial bracket as the likes of Manchester City and Chelsea. So if Al Ittihad or any other club make them an offer, don't get me wrong, it will have to be a mega offer, probably a world record, then I can see Liverpool accepting, because they just can't afford to say no to something like 300 million pounds. But that's the thing, it's not even close. It's like 86 million at the moment up front. If Al Ittihad offer like 200 million pounds, 250 million pounds, that's when I would start even considering accepting the offer. But not now, not just a few days before the transfer window closes. I would accept a 250 million pound offer for Salah next summer at the beginning of the transfer window, so Liverpool can properly work on signing a Salah replacement." Stan Collymore said, "I don't see Salah as a disruptive type of player. But again, if the reports that is true, that he's being offered a £1.5 million per week salary are to be believed, there is no way he's turning his back on that. Who would? But it just isn't just the money on offer that will appeal to Salah. There is a huge cultural aspect to this move. He is a strict Muslim, and let's be honest, he isn't a born and bred Scouser. Yes, he will go down as a Liverpool legend, but he's a career professional that has already had several high-profile transfers in his time. So why wouldn't he move to the Middle East? For me, it's quite simple. If I'm Liverpool, I'm holding firm and saying to Al Ittihad, if you really want to sign off Salah, you will need to offer 300 million pounds, and if you do that, we will fly him to Jeddah ourselves." Well, for 300 million pounds, I would consider selling Salah, as much as I love him. That's just absolutely a life-changing money for Liverpool, in terms of we could sign so many brilliant players with 300 million pounds in the next year. Liverpool rebuild would be absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that's my opinion. But I wouldn't consider selling Salah even for 300 million this close to the end of the transfer window. That would absolutely wreck Liverpool's season. We would need to sell him at the beginning of the next summer transfer window, and then we would have 2 months to find proper replacements for Salah and to complete this Liverpool rebuild, because it still feels like it's half done. But if we sign Gravenbech and the centre back, then the rebuild would be like 75 or 80% done, in my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.